Hey guys, my name is Vijay. I am working as senior solution consultant in Epicero. In this session, let us discuss about the difference between p function and this dollar. Okay, so we use these two things to fetch the properties from the property files. Okay, so that is what we have discussed yesterday. So before you go through this video further, I request you to go through this video which I have created. Okay, and I have uploaded it yesterday. Okay, and in order to go ahead with this session, this is a prerequisite. Okay, so yeah, so in this session, let's discuss about these two and when to use p function and when to use dollar function. What are the difference between them and similarities? Okay, yeah. So let me minimize this. So I'm using the same application which I have used yesterday in my previous lecture. Okay, so this is the application. I have used two applications without property placeholders and with property placeholders, but in this session I'll be discussing within this application because here now onwards we'll be using these properties, right? Property files, right? So that's why let us discuss within this application. Yeah. So the same thing. Let's just go through about the configuration of this flow or this project. Okay. So here the path is property placeholder. I am printing the payload which I'll be sending as an input through this postman. And here I'm using the this way like p function I'm using, and here I'm using dollar, and within that we have property. Okay, so parent dot child is one of the properties that is there in these files. Okay, here it is scatter gather, which will broadcast the input or copy the input to different branches or routes. So whatever the payload we are getting through Postman, it will send to HTTP request as well as FTP write. Yes, and after that it will collect the responses from both the things and it will generate a hash map. Okay, or you can call it as object of objects. And after that, what I'm doing, instead of sending this as an acknowledgement to the Postman, I am setting this content as a payload end of the flow. Okay, so whenever the control comes to HTTP request, it will this particular listener is already configured to listen on that particular request. Okay, here I am printing the payload uh, what this request will be sending because here I am using method as post. Okay, so yeah, and in this transform message I am trying to print HTTP request path and HTTP request port. Okay, so these values I am fetching from the property files. Okay, and at last I am printing the payload, that is nothing but the payload what we are setting in this transform message. Okay, so this is all about the flow. Now let us see the differences between these two. Okay, so this particular application is already up and running. Okay, if you see in the console, this is already in this mark, red mark. So that means it is already up and running. So as I'm using this path as property placeholder, let me send the request to this. So http colon double slash localhost colon 8081 slash property placeholder. So you can see the details. So here I'm pulling the information from these property files. Okay, so let me click on cancel. You see, if I open this, here the port is 8081, host is localhost, path is property placeholder. Okay, but in this application I have hard coded or I have entered the value directly instead of pulling it from this property file. Okay, so likewise, yeah, so these are the details. I have added parent and child like this, and just to distinguish between different environments, I am changing the value here. So here I have set it as hello world underscore dev nqa it is like hello world underscore QA, UAT, the corresponding change. And also you could see some difference in the paths, HTTP request paths. It is new request underscore UAT, new request underscore QA, and here it is new request underscore dev. Okay, so this is how uh, I'm changing the details among the environments. So from environment to environment, let's say, let's consider or assume that these are the parameters that will be changed once you deploy your application to Cloud Hub in the real-time environment. Okay, the FTP details are common for all the environments because I got this FTP details. Okay, like which will be hosted by this dlptest.com. Okay, it's a third party free FTP hosting service. Okay, so these details will not be changed in all these three files. Okay, yes. So we have discussed all these things in our previous session. So if you have any doubts, please go through that. Yes. So let me send the request to this particular application, which is already up and running. So let me send this thing. So what I'm sending, this particular payload. Okay, hello, how are you? So let me click on send. Okay, this is some error, but let's ignore this for now. Let me send once again. Yeah, now you see from this logger we are printing the payload, right? Hello, how are you? And if you see here, it is like parent.child, right? So here the environment is dev. Okay, I think after I have changed these um, values like from hello world to hello world underscore dev, I didn't deploy this locally, but let me deploy that and you'll see the difference. Yeah, before we deploy, let us discuss about the other things. So here it should be like hello world underscore dev. Also here also it should be hello world underscore dev. And what is happening, the payload is being handed over to this request, and this particular logger value is coming from this logger, and we are doing the transform message where we are fetching the HTTP request path and the port. So because it is a dev environment and we configured it as new request underscore dev, so that is what we could see in the console, and port is 8081. Okay, so just to uh, see this change, let me try to deploy this once again. So what happens when you do the changes in these property files, this project will not be automatically deployed. So for that you have to explicitly deploy. So let me terminate this and pause this video for a moment, and we'll see this the same test scenario once again. Yes guys, so I have deployed this application once again. So now let us try to send the input, the same input. Okay, so let me click on send. Now we'll see the difference. You see here, hello, how are you is the payload what we are sending. Now you see it is hello world underscore dev. So it is dynamically fetching the value from this dev.ml. Okay, and we are looking for parent.child property value, right? So it has printed hello world underscore dev. So how it has fetched? So you can see that here the environment is dev, right? So dev. So that means it is fetching the values from dev.ml. Okay. In order to um, you to connect these things, just check my previous session so that you'll understand it very clearly. Okay. Yeah. So now what is the difference between this and this? P and dollar of property and P of property. Okay. So P is a function and which will expect the input to be in the format of string. Okay. So here as we are passing the property, so we have to uh, put the hierarchy. So here the hierarchy is parent and child. So that is the reason I have put this hierarchy. For example, if you have uh, three hierarchies like parent, child, and let's say grandchild, for example. So you have to put parent dot child dot grandchild, something like that. Okay. Yeah. Now the same will be applicable for here as well, but you see a little difference is there, that other than here we are using P and there we are using dollar. We have enabled the expression mode to use this a convention like P, but you need not enable this expression mode when you use dollar. That is one more difference. Okay. And the main difference is, for example, here we have parent.child property in dev.ml. Fine. So that is the reason both these things are fetching the value without any issues. Now, for example, I'm going to remove this. So these two fetch the value, right? Like hello world underscore dev, hello world underscore dev. But what if I'm going to remove this completely here? Okay. What if I'm going to remove this? Let me cut it and I can paste it once again. Let me save this. Now, for example, we have removed it from the dev.ml, right? So now let us try to deploy this once again, because as I already told you, whenever you do the changes to these YAML files or the files, this project will not be deployed automatically. So let me stop this once again and pause this video for a moment, and once it is deployed, we'll continue with the session. See guys, if you see here, I just tried to deploy this, but what happened? It is saying could not find proper configuration property value for key dollar of parent dot child. Okay, so this is the issue you'll be getting whenever you call, okay, a property with this thing dollar of okay. So this is the a kind of disadvantage with this dollar. Okay, so what it does at the time of deployment itself, it will check whether this particular property is present in the YAML file it is referring to, it is pointing to. Okay, so that is the disadvantage of using this dollar. But what is the advantage of using this dollar over P? So there will be few configurations where you cannot enable the expression mode. Okay, so in those scenarios, this particular convention will help you. Okay, so that is why we'll still use this dollar convention, this way of calling the properties dynamically from YAML files. So we'll still consider it, we'll use it still. Okay, yeah. So as I have removed it from the YAML file, it has resulted into issue. For example, now let me try to remove this. Okay, now let me still I didn't add this parent.child property to this dev.ml. Now let me try to deploy this once again. Okay, anyway, we have changed the application now, the flow. That means it will be automatically deployed. It is, see, it is deploying automatically. Okay, so let's wait for a moment. Yeah, it got deployed. Now let me clear the console. Now you see here we are using p function in order to fetch parent.child, but in this environment property still it is dev. It is pointing to dev.ml, but in dev.ml there is no property called as parent.child. So let us see how this works. So this is already deployed. Let me clear the console. Now let us send this request. If you see here what it does, see we are printing the payload, and this payload is from the HTTP second flow. Okay, from this flow. Now you see in between, this is the logger that is getting executed, and you see here in this p of p convention is there, and see the value is null. So what is the use of this particular thing is that if at all by any chance you are not providing the input or the property which this particular function is expecting, okay, so it will consider it as a null value. Okay, So whether you have this hierarchy or not, whether you have this property or not in the ML file, okay, so it will automatically assume it has a null value. So there are no issues, and even at the time of deploying locally also there won't be any issues. Okay, but it all depends upon your requirement. Okay, you have to use p property and also that dollar convention to fetch the property values from the property files. Okay, so this is the advantage of using p function while fetching the values from the property files. Yeah, and also we have seen regarding this particular thing, dollar convention to fetch the values from the property files. Okay, now what yeah, let's keep let's try to deploy this. Okay, so what I have done, I have already deployed this particular application with the logger which we have just removed. Okay, so I have deployed that to Cloud Hub. Okay, so with this name, so the name is property placeholders 20th June 2021. Okay, so this particular application is already deployed. Okay, so in order to deploy this particular application, right click and go to Anypoint Platform and deploy to Cloud Hub. Then after this, you have to give your Anypoint Platform credentials, username and password. Okay, so this, just to save the time, I have deployed these to um, Cloud Hub. Let me click on cancel here. Now I'm not going to deploy this. You have to put a unique name. Okay, yeah, and just deploy this. Okay, let me close this. Okay, I'm also closing everything here. Now let us jump into Cloud Hub. So this is the application that I have deployed already. Okay, and this is the name. This is the server. Yeah, this is already up and running, and the runtime version is 4.3.0. Okay, yeah. So now let us try to get the domain or app URL. So let me just right click on this and copy link address. Okay, so let me frame this in a new tab. So this is the URL, and after that, what we are using here as the path, that you have to copy there. So it is property placeholder, right? So copy this phrase and paste it here. Okay, till here it is fine. Now go to body and put some payload, enter some payload. How are you? Simply. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you use get or post here. This is the advantage you'll be getting by using the postman. So whether you use get or post, it doesn't matter while posting the payload. Okay, yes. Now let let us check some few things, like as we discussed in our previous session. uh, Click on manage application here. So what I told is that you can even override the properties from the runtime manager. So this is the runtime manager, and in the runtime manager, I mean within the application, go to properties section and you can override the values. You can override the parameters or the properties. Okay, so here, as we were using environment as dev, so automatically it has taken. Okay, now let us try to send the request and we'll see how can we change, how can we update these values, the values which we have mentioned in the ML files. How can we change these? Okay, all these things we'll see. So remember that I have removed this here, but in the deployed application it is having parent.child property. Okay, remember that please. Yeah, now let me send the request. How are you to this application which is already deployed. Now go to logs. Okay, this is FTP connection issue. That's fine. Now let us see. Now it is 2 1. So if you see here, um, first thing is we are printing the payload. The second one is I told you, right, based upon the environment, it is fetching the value. So hello world underscore dev. So this particular thing is coming from where? Parent dot child. So if I do, okay, this is what I have truncated from the dev YAML file, right? So let me add that here so that we can cross verify from this thing. So this is how it got deployed. Okay, so now what we are getting, let me, yeah, hello world underscore dev. So by using p function here we are using dollar, okay, and fetching the same property parent dot child, this one and this one, okay. And the next one is in this thing, uh, this is what is getting printed. So how are you? The payload is getting printed once again, and you see after that we are setting the transform message. So where we are fetching the HTTP request and port. So here the request value, I mean the path value is new request underscore dev and port is 8081. So if you cross verify with this dev.ml, you see here new request underscore dev, okay, and also the port is 8081. Okay, this is fine. Now let me open QA.ml. Let me close this. Now you see here the path is different. New request underscore QA and port is same still. Okay, so let us try, and also parent.child is hello world underscore QA. Now let us try to modify this um, in this properties section. So click on manage application. So automatically you will be routed to settings and click on properties. So here environment value was set as dev. Now let me change it as QA. Okay, and just deploy these changes. Okay, so it will take a moment. I'll pause the video. Yes, guys, this particular application got deployed successfully, though it is still processing. But you see here the message is your application has started successfully. Okay, so now as per if you check this settings, okay, so what we have done here, we have changed the env value as QA here, right? From dev we have changed it to QA. Okay, so now what it does, it will fetch the QA.ml configuration details. Okay, so yes, so this is the payload that we have been discussing about, and you see here parent.child property, okay, it has fetched hello world underscore QA. So if you see in the Anypoint Studio in QA, okay, so see parent.child, it is printing hello world underscore QA, and after that this is by using p function and this is by using dollar convention. Okay, and here this is the payload that is from the second flow. Yeah, and you see HTTP request path is, as you see here, HTTP and the request path is new request underscore QA. Okay, so that is what we could see here, and port is 8081. Okay, so this is how you can update this value, uh, that is the properties configuration on this particular application. Okay, so these values you can dynamically change. But for example, what if I want to update the QA value, the HTTP request path from new request QA underscore QA to something else? Okay, so how I can do that? So for that, what you have to do, you have to copy this HTTP request path, right? Just copy this. I'm copying it now. Paste it here and remove these things. Okay, you have to simply put the hierarchy. Okay, the complete hierarchy, okay, of the property http.request.path. So now instead of new request underscore QA, so what I'll do, I just copy that, and instead of that I'll add something like new request. uh, I'll keep it as updated request path underscore QA. Okay, so this way you can update this property. And also, for example, let's say parent.child, I'll update this once again. one more property I'm updating by using this interface. So here instead of hello world underscore QA, I'll put something like child underscore QA. Okay, so this is not a mandatory thing, just whatever the value you would like to keep, you can keep. Okay, so let me apply the changes. So this will deploy this application once again. So whenever you update these properties, okay, whether you update in the Anypoint Studio, you have to deploy the application once again explicitly, and here also the same thing. So let me apply the changes, and we'll see the differences in the logs. Okay, so let me pause this video for one more moment, and we'll resume with our discussion. Click on apply changes. Hey guys, yeah, so this application got deployed. See here, 213, it got deployed. Your application has started successfully. Okay, so now this is available for testing. So go to settings. So what we have done, these things, environment is QA and HTTP request path. We are overriding that. Okay, and parent.child property, we have set a new value. Okay, now let us try to send the same request once again. Okay, so just to I'll put something like I am fine here. That is the content I'll be sending. Now let me send the request. So go to logs. Now it is 215, right? So check. Yeah. So these are the logs. You see here, this is the payload what we have sent. You see, parent.child value got changed to child underscore QA. So this we are calling through P function, and this we are calling through dollar. Okay. And you see, this is the payload from HTTP listen, after the HTTP listener in the second flow. You see here, updated request path underscore QA. So this is what we have set here. Let me refresh this. Okay, so we have overridden the HTTP request path and also parent.child property. These two properties we have overridden them. Okay, so you see HTTP request path and parent.child. So they are replaced. The previous values are replaced with the updated values, and that is what you could see in the logs. Okay, so we have put loggers, right? So we are able to see the changes. So this is how you can, um, when you deploy to different environments, you can update these values accordingly. For example, instead of environment, it has QA, you can put UAT. So what it will pull the information from uat.aml file. Okay, so this is how it will work. So as we have discussed in our previous session, so these are the advantages you'll be getting if you use property files. Okay, so that, and also I mean, you need not explicitly change the application, change the configurations in the applications and deploy it every time you need that. So you are externalizing these things so that you can override the properties from the runtime manager application properties section. So this is one advantage. And yeah, you can externalize these things, you can change here, and you can override the things. That's it. So this is the advantage. So in real time, you cannot simply configure in the configurations, right? Okay. You cannot simply put the static values here. It will be a overhead actually. So as soon as the partner changes, or the entity whom you are trading with, they're changing some configuration details at their end. So it's a overhead for us to change within the application and deploy to all the environments. That is not possible, right? So instead of that, we are externalizing these properties in YAML files. Okay, so from the runtime manager properties, we can override them. So this is the uh, this is about this concept. Okay, I hope you understood this clearly, because I'm going very slow and in detailed manner. Okay, yeah. So if you like it, please share, subscribe, and thank you so much.